In life, we're always looking for something, always restless to find that new spark, that new feeling to keep us satisfied. For you guys, it may be that new Madden video game that everyone has to have, or some new cheesy pickup line to get the girls. And ladies, it may be a new pair of boots that makes us happy. And let's face it, we're always looking for Prince Charming. But as the old saying goes, all good things must come to an end. That new feeling that was once found is then lost, forgotten, and remains only a memory. I want you to close your eyes with me for a moment and imagine your life in 20 years. Will you have your dream job, dream house, dream car, super fine wife or husband, the picture perfect life? Maybe so. Now, open your eyes with me. My question to you now is, what happens if you don't achieve all those things you dreamed of? What happens if your search for greatness falls short of your expectations? I believe that in order to achieve true happiness, you must first realize what you're looking for. Go find it, and then you can reach a point of contentment. In high school, I measured myself on my accomplishments. I wanted to win more awards than anyone. Whether it was an FFA contest or livestock show, I had to have the fullest resume. I had more awards, buckles, banners, and plaques than I knew what to do with. I don't say that to impress you or to boast, but just to get my point across. When I didn't achieve what I set out for or placed lower than I expected, I picked my performance apart and was more disappointed in myself than anyone else could have ever been. I mean, it took me until just a couple months ago to watch last convention state president speeches. If any of you remember, I completely froze on the thought question and later cried backstage. Overreact much? For months, I was so disappointed in myself for not even making the runoff, I couldn't even talk about the elections. And then, it just hit me. A whole new perspective came to me like a sign. It took me way too long to realize that those material things that I strive so hard to obtain, like a title, were short-lived pleasures that made zero difference in my life. I was still the same person I started off being, still unsatisfied and restless. Instead, I realized that the true experience was serving the over 86,000 members of the Texas FFA, and that was my true reward, regardless of what was written across my jacket. After the new wore off, I realized that the things that were important to me, I realized that what I gained from my experiences were the memories, stories, late nights sitting up and talking in hotel rooms, and most of all, the relationships that I made. I encourage each of you to strive for success, shoot for the stars, aim high, and all of those good things, but no matter what, do not let your success or lack of success define your self-worth. Each of you is better than that. So before you set out on any new journey, think ahead to what you want to get out of it. How do you want to improve yourself? What skills can you gain? How can you make a difference in someone else's life? It was May 29th, 2011, the day after my high school graduation. My parents had thrown me a huge graduation party. Over 200 people showed up, a band was bumping, and everybody was chowing down on the best crawfish, shrimp, and gumbo that you could imagine. As my family and friends showed up, I had to hug them and thank them for coming and continue making my rounds to the next group of guests. Of course, when my great aunt and uncle, Papa Jake and Mama Scene, showed up and handed me a gift, I didn't think much about it. I set the gift with the others, made short conversation, and I moved on. That night, as I was carrying presents back into my room, I noticed one in particular, mainly because it was just a plain bag with no tissue to hide the contents. I pulled out this book, Oh, the Places You'll Go, by Dr. Seuss. Knowing it would be a short read, I sat down and started reading. Congratulations, today is your day. You're off to great places, you're off and away. You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes, you can steer yourself any direction you choose. By the end of the book, I was in tears. In such simple words, meant for our children, an 18-year-old high school graduate was truly touched by such modest wisdom. I was inspired. In February, I was sitting at my house in College Station, Texas, when I received a phone call from my mom. She had an unusual tone in her voice and proceeded to tell me news that everyone dreads hearing. It was one of those phone calls. She told me that that morning while on her way to work, my Aunt Francine was taking the same road she had taken for years, except that morning she had missed a windy curve, flipped her vehicle into a tree, and was found dead upon the scene. She died at age 70 on February 22nd, 2012, less than 1 month before her 50th wedding anniversary to Papa Jake. 450 invitations to their wedding anniversary party had been mailed out the day before the accident. Now, I always swore that if I had the opportunity to speak in front of all of you, I wouldn't tell a sad story or make anyone pity me or my family or our circumstances, so I'm going to stick to that. What I want you to focus on is not that my Aunt Francine died, but that she lived. At age 35, although she got a late start, she went back to college to become a teacher. She had a passion for helping others and knew that teaching was her avenue to do that. She taught for nearly 30 years before retiring. Retirement lasted a whole year before she couldn't stand it anymore and got a job teaching women at a local prison. Believe it or not, she loved it. She said it was much better than teaching elementary school students. She always did have plenty of help with discipline issues. You see, when you set out to find whatever it is that you're looking for, no matter what happens in the end, it's about that journey in between. The people you met, the lives you touched, and the little things you do for people, such as giving them a simple gift, that makes the biggest difference. Now, when your search for happiness starts coming to a close, and you've nearly reached your destination, you should start to reach a point of contentment. Contentment with yourself, with those around you, and with your life in general. Now, I don't know this from personal experience because I'm still on that same search that you're on, but there is a certain group of people who knows a little bit about life. You may know them as a group whose walking speed can be measured in inches per hour, or the group who kind of smells sometimes, or the group who drives right in front of you going 40 and a 70, right up on the steering wheel and squinting as hard as they can. That's right, you guessed it, old people. The thing a lot of people don't know about me is that I am obsessed with old people. I love everything about them. I love that they're tiny and grandmas have a curly little grandma do, and they have no teeth and they're wrinkly. Who cares? So what if they want to be grumpy or pinch your cheeks or run over you with their wheelchair? It doesn't matter because they can. They've been through enough in their life that they deserve to have whatever they want. However, the true thing that I love about old people is their values. Did you know that somebody who was born in 1932, or someone who was 80 was born in 1932, they've seen the effects of World War II, Vietnam, the first man on the moon, seen racism and segregation at its peak, and the assassination of JFK, not to mention poodle skirts, hippies, and big 80s hair. I think it's safe to say they've paid their dues. As I said, I love their values. I always volunteered at a local nursing home for my community service projects. Although every resident was different, they all had something very unique in common.
Get in there and enjoy being in high school and enjoy what is there and what you are getting from your high school teachers, because you're going on to college. And when you get on to college, it's going to change, but you want to enjoy that too. It's important that you enjoy what you're doing. If you're not enjoying what you're doing, find something else.
Love your family and obey your parents and get involved in school and stay there.
Stay in school, finish up, go to college, because you're going to need it. It's hard to find a job unless you've got a good education.
Have a right relationship with the guy that do something for me when I die, because it's not going to be long, and I can't expect to live him. He's been too good to me already. You know, in the health that I'm in, I still jog, I still walk a mile, and the Lord has been kind to me, and I need to be kind to him.
Each of these individuals have reached a point in their lives where what's important to them has nothing to do with material things. They value the simple things in their life, such as a family, good education, and being thankful for each day they're alive. My question to you now is, if we all get old eventually and all end up with those same values in life, why don't we value those same things right now? Why don't we wake up each day and thank God for the day that He's given us? Why don't we love each other like there's no tomorrow? Why are we not more thankful for our opportunities? Texas FFA, why do we put so much emphasis on our own success in life instead of putting emphasis on the success of each other? In the next 20 years that I had to imagine, people will forget what you've done. They'll forget your accomplishments, who won what award, and forget the exact words you spoke. But what people won't forget is the way you made them feel. That's what we remember most about someone. It took me 19 years to finally realize that all those things I thought were so big in my life were actually small, and all those small things would have impacted my life in the biggest way. Texas FFA, don't make my same mistakes, because tomorrow is not promised. Take joy in the little things around you, from sunsets to family dinners to time spent with your best friends. Our lives change so quickly, precious moments fly by, and we will never get them back. Take time out of your busy schedule to reflect on your blessings on a daily basis, and make yourself pay attention to those positive things around you. Friends, that is my challenge to you. It starts here, and it starts now. After all, you can have all the lights and all the glitz and all those things that you've ever dreamed of and all those things that you think will make you happy, but at the end of the day, you're just one simple person with a short time to make an impact on those around you. And that part of your search is what's really important.